All right, we are back, and it's time to continue on to the last day here of the week as we get ready to go into the Chengdu Hunters versus the LA Valiant. Obviously, for the Valiant, haven't been able to pick up any wins yet, so kickoff clash not really a concern of theirs. It's all about getting that first win, but they might be able to really screw the chances of the Chengdu Hunters here, Avril.
They certainly can. I mean, Chengdu's storyline going into this is there is a slim bit of hope for them to still make the actual kickoff clash. There are two scenarios in which they still make it through. First of all, they must win. They must get either a 3-1 or a 3-0 scoreline versus the Valiant. A 3-2 eliminates them from contention. So, Fusion, you are the biggest fans of the LA Valiant today. If you're a Fusion fan, you are rooting for the LA Valiant because you need the Valiant to get 2 maps. It is scary. So Hunters,
so
okay, we're starting out with the Gaga instead of Daisy. And the other thing is, if Hunters only beat Valiant 3-1, they require Hangzhou Spark to beat Fusion 3-0. If Hunters can 3-0 the Valiant, then Spark need to beat Fusion 3-1. So both Hunters need to do their part, and Hangzhou need to do their part. So if Hunters do win today, Hunters fans, you will also need to be the biggest Hangzhou fans today as well, because this is going to have to be a combined effort.
I mean, can it happen again, Avril? Can lightning strike twice in the same place but 2 seasons apart where the Valiant absolutely screw the Fusion out of a tournament appearance by winning a map? That's why I'm laughing so hard, is because this has happened before. Granted, the stakes are a little bit higher. They only needed to win 1 map last time. They got it done on Nimbani. Now they need to win 2 maps.
I will say, at least Fusion's hopes are still within their own hands, because even if Valiant drop the ball today, if Fusion just beat Spark with any scoreline, they still make it in. So it is still within Fusion's own hands. But right now, if they want to make it easy, you are hoping that Valiant do get 2 maps off of the Hunters. But if you're a Valiant fan, that's not enough. You need to win this one. Because if you're a Valiant fan, and actually, if you're a Fusion fan, you would also like Valiant to just win. That works for you as well. But Valiant are currently on a 23 match loss streak. It has been 631 days since the Valiant had won their previous matchup, and that was against who again? Florida Mayhem, 3-2 scoreline, Overwatch League 2020 North American Playoffs, all the way back in September 5th in 2020. So it's been a damn long time, like 2 damn whole rosters ago. We're on the 3rd iteration of Valiant since then.
And this one has been looking really good. Dia, like we've been saying, it feels like hasn't really missed a moment. The guy comes back in after being out of the scene for a while, continues to excel. Becky's been looking incredible. Sashin is, I think, honestly, Sashin might be the one who's impressing me the most for the side of the Valiant, because he comes out here and he plays an absolutely terrifying Zarya.
And he's also been out of action for a while, because, we know Dia's been out of action the previous year, but the difference is, prior to that, Dia had been a champion. He's been winning in contenders heavily via Team CC, who is the Shanghai Dragons Academy team. He won Gauntlet. Didn't get picked up to the Overwatch League. I mean, what more can you do in contenders other than win Gauntlet? That's like literally winning like the World Championship of Tier 2, right? That's like the most that you can possibly do. Outside of maybe also winning the World Cup. But, that's bygones be bygones, way in the past now. So for the Valiant, we are waiting for their first win so far in the season. We know it's coming. We know it should be coming. They have had 3 also back-to-back losses that started from a 2-1 lead where they had match point. 3 games that happened. And they couldn't finish it out. Neither their map 4 or their map 5 they could win. It just something doesn't go right on those map 4s and 5s, and they can't quite clutch through a victory despite being on match point 3 times in a row.
Well, let's see if today is the difference maker, if they can step it up here as we open the gates to kick things off on Lijiang Tower. Let's see, Sasha, of course, there with the Zarya. Gaga going to be matching on the opposite side of the arena, but Becky will be coming through with the Mei, and Moira is here for Coldest as well. Opening kill already found. Leaf going to be taken down.
Just that's
the biggest priority target you can possibly find. Gets him in the head. They look for a little bit more. The wall cuts off Gaga's escape. Becky narrowly makes it into the ice block just in time to get topped back up and stay alive. And the Valiant will win the opening volley.
My goodness, this is another one of those no-hill 5 AM compositions, but I dare say it's kind of working right now. Gaga's going to go towards a Doomfist. Not too sure if I like that a lot, but at the same time, I mean, they're trying to break their way back in. This wall is being a bit of a menace, though. This wall really sets up the pacing for Valiant.
Yeah, I didn't even see Leaf get in. All of a sudden, Becky turns to the side. He's there. He's dead. Point going to be contested for now, though. Gaga lurking around the back, but won't be able to draw too much attention. Just wants to try to stop this forward hold from the side of the Valiant. It has worked. Now going to be up there on that high ground.
I'm really still unsure. Like, Gaga on the Doom, it's hard to say what sort of extra value he brings because the Zarya should be the good matchup here. You have, I think, the better overall healer in the Ana instead of the Moira. You have the bubbles to protect yourself from slows and the eventual Blizzard as well. You can actually duel with Sashin. Whereas right now, you just have to kind of dive in. You're hoping that Jinmu will follow you up so you can get those kills. He's nearly actually got a blade, but he dies.
Yep, it does end up getting taken down. Anti out on the Becky, but should be fine. Still holds on the ice block, goes into that now as a little bit of pressure comes out. That's going to be the coalescence here from Coldest. They're just keeping everybody topped up and helping to shove back the Chengdu Hunters. Gaga now going down. Seeing that movement boost to go ahead, get himself up onto the high ground. And yeah, I mean, Nisha slinking away here as best as he possibly can. Sashin still pressing the corner, but looks like they cannot hound down the Lucio.
So this Blizzard's going to be pretty nasty. If Gaga saves his cooldowns properly, he should be able to get out, but it will prevent the blade. So you don't quite have the sound barrier available. A Blizzard can be a soft counter where Jinmu comes in, you Blizzard straight away, and it makes it difficult, if not impossible, for Jinmu to get value. So there is that going for Valiant. And by the way, Valiant on 80%, they're actually going to initiate with this.
Yeah, they do. Gaga's dead. I mean, the DPS here on the side of the Chengdu Hunters is trying to draw attention back over the point. They will, but Becky is just finding heads. The blade now going to be pulled. Jinmu will get Lengza. Can he get anything else? Wraith form goes in from Dia. He keeps himself alive. Sashin going to be taking a nap, but looks like that's all he's going to be able to find. The bubble comes out. Sashin protected as soon as he wakes up. Now the grab nearly there. Overtime going to be coming through. They're close to getting the flip here on the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Dia going to be taken down. The flip comes in. Sashin throws the grab all the same, despite the fact that they do not have any DPS members, but they still managed to find some kills. Even Jinmu have now been eliminated. Expiring there from the side of Nisha, and Lengza uses his second. Shielding now going to be expiring as they still look to flip the point, win the fight rather. Coldest fading away. Gaga down to about half HP. Going to be hacked out there as Becky returns on the Sombra. The Meteor Strike going to be used. Gaga exits, keeps himself alive for now. Here's the Death Blossom. Dia gets one. Gaga taken down to the end. Monk zoned away from the point, eliminated by the Reaper. Flip back into their favor. The Valiant look to close out this round. They should be able to do so. The OT will bleed down, and it's a fairly one-sided affair here as Valiant claiming command center.
And Los Angeles Valiant as well. I think they played the last fight with a lot to risk because they lose both Dia and Becky. Sashin still goes for the grab. They commit further with a sound barrier, and that could very easily go awry. That could have been a lot of wasted ultimates. If you want to have one very clear situation for Hunters to come back on because you may whiff on ultimates, that would have been it. That was a must-win fight for Valiant because if they don't win with that kind of ultimate investment, Chengdu's would start snowballing. You can see a double 99 there. Los Angeles Valiant, if they want to play it super safe, they could have given that fight away, come back with an ultimate advantage, and just kind of cleaned up with a one and done. But, you know, they decide to roll the dice on that one. Thankfully, we do get 6. So for the Los Angeles Valiant, looking like a pretty commanding lead so far. I do appreciate their pacing, though. You do have to play way faster as a Lucio Moira team, and they were definitely doing that.
Jinmu now moving over to the far up. Becky on the Echo. No pocket, though, for him. Lengza shifts to the Brig. Coldest sticks with the Ana. So a little bit more self-sufficient here for Becky. More pressure on him as an individual to perform. Gaga already going to be antied out, just hugging inside the bubble, trying to keep himself safe. Looks like he will be able to do so. Exits back over where the rest of the team is to get topped up, dives in, again, going to be anti, the bubble comes in, cancel on the beam here from Becky. Just waits, and now they'll turn the site over to the point here, trying to contest as the Pharmacy duo starts getting the cap. A bit of damage down onto Jinmu, but Becky has to pull away. Any direct hit would have finished him up, but now Gaga going to be taken down. First blood here, found in the fight, and now Monk is gone as well. Valiant, they will be able to convert this into a point cap. Becky a little bit in no man's land, but Sashin comes around the corner, helps rescue him, and he manages to stay alive.
I do appreciate that the Chengdu Hunters are trying to split attention up because Jinmu plays backline. He's trying to go for off angles. Actually, Precious point that actually splits the Los Angeles Valiant their attention up in terms of where their priority is. With Nisha down, though, there's an opportunity to get Jinmu down once more. So LA continue their lead with another 5v3. They'll get more percentage points. That's another first fight win going their way. Very quiet in the early stages. Look at Gaga's HP. You look at Sashin's HP, and it does end up being Gaga falling early. The fact that Becky is getting pretty decent value in a 1v2 versus Jinmu and Nisha speaks volumes for Valiant's ability to keep this going.
Oh, Becky under fire, rockets, and Ana shots flying his way. Will manage to stay alive for now as Jinmu diving into the back line, is looking for Dia, put some damage down. There's the direct hit, a nice kill. There's as Chengdu Hunters open things and try to get themselves down into the point. Zacian gonna fall, but not before he takes Jinmu with him. Bit of a 1-for-1 there, but ultimately a trade-up for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, and now with Becky going down, seems like this flip should be inevitable. Cold is the only one trying to contest here. Langza, however, finding an elimination. Rez will bring Leaf back into the fray. The Valiant should just have to let this flip go through. Yeah,
I love that double kill to Helix as well. Always enjoy that coming up in the kill feed. Brilliant stuff from the Chengdu despite losing Jinmu early. Nisha not going to go for the risky resurrection. A 1-for-1 to get Zacian down. You sacrifice Jinmu, but you do kill Zacian. Ends up being pretty huge for the Hunters, and the craziest thing is they didn't use any other ultimates, so in terms of economy, they're really doing quite well. Monk with some heroics as well towards the end there to stay alive and get kills.
Becky, I thought maybe he was overstaying, but now does have that duplicate. Sleep
Oh
gonna
my
come
God.
through. Yeah, he's getting the full Winston treatment there. Tries to get the ult, but will be forced to take a nap. Yep, they break him out of that very quickly as he tries desperately to track somebody in the sky here with those sticky bombs. Can't make it happen. Lead in the meantime, gonna get the nano visor. Already found 1 kill, so looking for a little bit more. Will be able to get Zacian in the end. Lings up playing up into his face, trying to offer up some damage, and he manages a 7th kill here for Dia, who comes up with 2. Leaf and Monk now both eliminated. Nisha out of the fight. No res available, and Jinmu nowhere to go. No pocket healing. Pulls back around the corner. Gets a little parting gift there over to Langza to find an elimination, but cannot hold the point any longer. And the Chengdu Hunters cannot take the lead. The flip will come in at 53%. Valiant now ticking up past 65.
That's a huge, great comeback from Dia as well to take down Monk, who had been pocket healing Leaf. You saw Leaf as low as, I believe, 25 HP during that visor. Monk was keeping him alive the entire time, so as soon as Dia gets Monk, he transfers on Leaf and ends up saving the day. Keeps Valiant in control as well, 80% and counting up. Here comes that visor, looking for the flyers, gets one, and an important one as well.
Nowhere to go. Now looks for the Pharah, and it takes him down to a sliver of HP. The Mega Pack is there, so Jinmu staying safe. But Dia somehow surviving. The bubble coming in on the back end there from Zacian just to make sure that he stays protected now. Grab solo out on to leave. Stops anybody else as well from advancing forward onto the point from that side. As you can see, Gaga just trying to play inch his way into the point. Nisha going to be taken down, the healing cut in half. More so as Monk now under fire and no one can touch. The Valiant will take this map. They kick things off 2-0 to begin on Lijiang Tower.
Valiant usually have a pretty good win rate on the opening map as well. We've seen them multiple times. They will get the first map, they will get the third map, secure that 2-1. Dia, incredible, I think, over the course of this series, but have to kind of give credit to, No Hill coming up with a new composition to play on the control center, something the Hunters were not ready for. I'm still not entirely convinced by the Gaga swap over to the Doomfist. I don't think it really gives them a lot to work through there, but then you look over towards Night Market as well, and okay, we finally do get the Jinmu Fire, because we had questions. Alpha Yi's been playing Fire. Where's the Jinmu Fire? Jinmu's meant to be the Fire guy. And now you're starting to see why maybe the Fire isn't that great of a pick. You have Dia, who's great on Soldier on the other end. Becky counters you with the Echo as well. So both the DPSs make Jinmu's life really hard. And we didn't see that much value out of Jinmu's Fire because it was consistently being shut down. And at the end of the day, I think you have the sort of Zarya versus Winston matchup that Valiant is so well practiced in the Zarya now. They just understand the ins and outs of the Zarya. Most because they're forced to, since Zacian is an off-tank player. But they've kind of mastered it. Well, they're getting close to mastering it, I should say. And they look clean. That was a good opening for the Valiant.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, Zacian again continuing to assert dominance with that Zarya pick. His bubble selection and timing is just utterly impeccable for the most part there. But great performance at the beginning here for the side of the Valiant. Like you said, typically do start things off well. We'll see if they can continue it and try to move up 2-0. As we will have a second map coming up here in just a moment. Chengdu Hunters in the meantime need to stabilize, need to try to tie it up and not get taken to match point. We'll see if they can do it when we come back from the break. Is today? That is the question that we ask ourselves, I think, pretty much every time the Valiant take to the stage. They start things off 1-0 here in this series versus the Chengdu Hunters. A very dominant performance, 2-0 on Lijiang Tower to go ahead and get the first map. But like you were mentioning, Avril, they're known for these stronger starts. Chengdu Hunters, the onus is very much on them to bounce back and try to tie it up 1-1 as we turn our sights over to Dorado.
I think Valiant can be described as a sprinting team where, you know, maybe in the marathon run, they start to run out of gas and start to run out of energy towards the end, but in the very early stages, they always look pretty clean, look pretty decent, look strong. Strong enough that, again, 3 times in a row, we've had them lead the series 2-1. It's those last 2 maps, number 4 and 5, that always seem to get away from them. So we need to be in a position where, hey, maybe we can get a Valiant 2-0 start. That would make me feel a little bit better about their chances. Because right now, I don't even know if I really trust a 2-1 start from them just yet. Just because it's been so long and so many times where they've had that, and it's still not quite been enough. I do very quickly, though, want to give an update for the standings department in terms of what we need to see. Because Valiant have won 1 map now, if they win 1 more map anywhere in the series, Fusion have clinched their spot in the Kickoff Clash. So, if you're a Fusion fan, you are waiting for 1 more Valiant win anywhere in this series. If Hunters can bring this one back 3-1, where Valiant do not win any more maps, Hunters must win 3-1 to remain in the next game, Spark would have to defeat Fusion 3-0 to give Hunters the clinch into the Kickoff Clash. If Fusion even win 1 map after this, if Chengdu Hunters win now, then Fusion would clinch it instead. So the more Hunters lose, the less likely they are going to make it to the Kickoff Clash. It's crazy, I know.
Well, time will tell. Let's see if they can get it done here. As the Valiant going to be starting things off on the defense. Chengdu Hunters looking for the push. We've had some rough pushes so far today. Pressure is mounting on these teams to be able to get to the ends of these maps, but even on this map in particular, we've also seen some full holds. So Chengdu Hunters cannot breathe easy. It leave coming out the gate on the Widowmaker in all likelihood to see if he can find some good value.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Dia versus Leave. Dia, who is definitely known as one of the top hit scan / Widowmaker players in China, certainly during Contenders China. Leave, the MVP of the previous season, hasn't had the best start so far. Chengdu in general has not had the best start so far, so a lot needs to still happen for Hunters to kind of reclaim former glory here, and they need to do so in rather convincing style, especially now deeper into the series where they are required to get a 3-1 victory. And with Nisha down early, this fight is already not looking good.
No, it is not. Leave is jumping up, looking for some line of sight here. Get a tap there onto Becky. So far, it's just been the body shots that he's been able to find. Spots him yet again, hovering up over top of the buildings. But this time, Becky does have some backup in Langsa, of course. So even if he does get sniped, all likelihood, you can see that res come through, unless he gets himself situated in a very bad position for the res. Cart, in the meantime, just being inched forward through the underpass into the market. As the beam comes down, they look for a little bit more. It's going to be Jinmu taken out. Becky finding yet another kill.
In a position where you can challenge Leave here as well. You landed the stick keys, don't quite have the focus beam, but it'll come up 1 second. You'll pocket it anyway. And Los Angeles Valiant have the first couple of frags so far on our opening for Dorado. The payload distance is reasonable. Dia taking down Leave there. After the reset here for Hunters, they can look for this nano play as Monk is way ahead of Coldest.
Dia gets a nice headshot there onto Leave. Another little pick off here for the side of the Valiant to just continue draining time away. Already 2 minutes nearly gone as they look to take it a bit further. Becky nearly duplicate online. Valkyrie comes up from Langsa. He's trying to keep everybody alive. Sashin will fall. We'll see if the res can come through. Jinmu gets himself into the back lines. Gold is going to be pocketed here for the moment. Now the res comes in and Becky is there. Shuts him down and Sashin's right back into the fray like nothing ever happened. Gaga falling low, pops the Primal Rage right as he gets it. And Leave will find an opening kill, taking out Coldness. The Ana now out of the fight, and that's going to be a nano boost lacking. So Becky says, okay, I'll just go ahead and give us another Ana. But Leave immediately shuts that down. Good headshot from him. Takes him out of the sky and puts him back into the sky, and then Monk will take him out of it as the eliminations start to fly and the cart can continue to advance here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Looking a bit scary for them there for a bit, but it seems like they have stabilized.
Really good clutch from Leave and Monk there to keep everything up and going. Coldest goes down. Like I said, Becky duplicates an Ana, so that's Leave the Ana Slayer. 2 Anas in that fight that he ended up killing. And with Linksa getting the res, still not enough for the Valiant. Slowly pushing on through for a bit of snowball momentum. Further res will be played in for Dia just to allow the LA Valiant to perhaps get a contest on this payload early as it only starts coming through that archway for the time being. But Leave is in such an advanced position. He's already looking for frags on potential rotators.
He is so far not seeing too much. Sashin,
That
instantly greets him with a headshot. Becky identifying very quickly where Leave is at, sends over some sticky bombs towards him. Sashin going to be throwing out a bubble as the Nano goes forward here on to the Echo. Antied out though, Becky also wary about Leave's position on that flank. As the head pulls back, gets himself situated on the high ground with the rest of the team yet again as Gaga goes diving in. Just going to be zapping away, not finding too much, but poking and prodding, trying to get the Primal online, which he now will have.
Which is important because the grab is online as well. Gaga and Hunters need to make sure that the grab is only a solo grab. You cannot have Niche or anyone else caught. Gaga actually goes for the offensive Primal, so now Sash can drop with the grab.
Oh yeah, Cold is going to be taken down there. Grab does come through, but Jinmu just looking to push him back. Will manage to get the elimination with the help of Nisha. So Grab out, only finds Monk. Cart continuing to roll here. As Dia now jumped on the blade, going to be pulled. Chengdu Hunters just sending it, making sure they get this cap on B. Becky in a bad spot, will get cut down. Seems like Chengdu Hunters managing to persevere, can go ahead and continue this push.
And a great play by Jinmu there as well, and good for Hunters to still maintain one support. If they lost both supports, that would have been dire. That could have been the push ended, even with Jinmu's heroics. Now we're in a sort of position where Los Angeles Valiant can respawn. They've regrouped here. Becky has an ultimate to play through, and he copies the Winston.
Yep, half a meter left to go. There's the duplicate. Just getting him another tank. Gaga making his exit as the anti does connect. Leave onto the high ground. Becky harassing out Leave. Now gets the Primal Rage. Going to be taking a nap yet again. Becky finding that when you copy the main tank, you get yourself into a pretty dire situation. Will be able to make his escape though. As Leave on the hunt for sight rolling wants to get that pick off, but seems like he's not going to be able to get line of sight. Instead, we'll look for Coldest. Tags him in the chest. Can't get the kill. And in the meantime, Becky gets Jinmu.
Becky now looking for further as well. Some decent sticks to the lead, but see if he can actually get the follow-up here. Yeah, it's got the beam, so that'll be easy with the damage boost as well. Gotta say, though, a lot of these fights for me, Monk has been playing pretty outstandingly. Another brilliant sleep coming on through. Exactly on point to make Monk. These sleeps have been giving Hunters the edge in fights, even in situations where they look like maybe they're losing. Becky, how many times has Becky specifically been slept by Monk? Chengdu now get to work a minor 5v4 before LA Valiant regroup. Okay, I don't know how that happens. That's a rare kill feed.
Yeah, nor do I. Poison trap there from DS, managing to find that elimination on the Monk.
Where was that? Like, Monk just walked into it? Like what? Like
I don't know. I really can't tell you. Gaga
God.
taking a nap inside of the church as Jinmu does get picked off. Less than a minute remaining now. Definitely is holdable here from the side of the Valiant. A couple ults banked up. Sachin trying to get that next grab online. But it will be into a rally, a nano, and a primal here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. And with an extended fray, Jinmu can absolutely get a blade as well.
And this time is an issue now because even if Hunters cap, it's becoming unlikely that they get it all the way through C and finish the map. Looking for the right side flank now. High ground included. Nano Blade has to be the answer, but they lose Jinmu. That's awful.
That's a catastrophe.
With Chengdu Hunters.
He'll be able to respawn and potentially join back in time.
But the positioning is scuffed.
Yep. Gaga just bringing the cart a little bit further forward. They already got it half a meter away. Gaga now going to pop the Primal Rage. He's trying to swat Linksa out of the sky, but the Valkyrie's going to be popped. Brav is a couple % off here from the side of Sasha, and Gaga does not have the Primal Rage now to try and survive that. Beating and battering Dia around. The Nano's going to be used actually to keep Dia in the fight. Goes out onto the Widowmaker. Now he turns his sight over to the rest of the Chengdu Hunters. Blade pulls Jinmu diving in. Nano up finds Coldest. Sashin killed himself off with a right click, and Becky is taken out of the sky. It seems like now with the finisher there on to Linksa, yes, they will be able to get the cap. They will get that extra minute and a half, but it was dire straits there for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, and they had to use everything in their arsenal to get it to happen.
That's one of those situations where you have to let Dia die. I'm not a big fan of these Nano Widowmakers that we sometimes have been seeing. It just doesn't do anything for you. Okay, Dia lives. What's he going to do? 1v5? Unless he does that, you've allowed Jinmu to get it with the Nano Blade now, when you could have nanoed Becky in that fight, who gets his own blade via the duplicate. I mean, Valiant, they had the win within the... You were going to kill Gaga anyway. Gaga was 100% dead. Even if Dia dies, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Well, Bit of a head scratcher there. Gaga, though, getting punished early as we fall down to 40 seconds remaining. Coldest here on the high ground, just offering up healing to the rest of the team, keeping Becky in the fight. They drop down. They get a little bit of a forward position, but they don't want to hold here. We'll go ahead, back off. Just keep control of the high ground and make sure that Chengdu Hunters have a very difficult time getting back to the cart.
I think Leave at some point needs to look towards a Reaper or a probably Soldier even. So Infrasight will come on through. That'll give Hunters the opportunity to push up. But with the final fight approaching very rapidly, I mean, basically there, Hunters have nothing else to work through. They need to just get this one done in the neutral.
Gaga antied. Looks like they will be able to top him back up. He is again falling low. Jinmu dashing in, finds Becky, but Langsa punishes him for it. So 1 for 1. As both of the Genjis are now dead. Sasha going to be taking a nap here for the moment. The Primal Rage going to be popped. Gaga leaping forward. The sleep does connect, but Coldest and Langsa have now fallen. Valiant without their support lineup. Sasha
Grab's coming.
Awake, back into the fight. He's going to be juggled into the corner here for the moment. Lee finds a headshot off screen, gets rid of Dia. The grab is online, but he holds it for a final contest. The cart moving forward, though, and somebody needs to touch. See if they can get it at all as they start making their way forward. Becky dives in, manages to hit it. But Dia now going to be swapping over onto the Tracer. The cart inching forward yet again. Langsa falling low, needs to stay glued to this, but he ends up getting dropped. And in overtime, the Chengdu Hunters will manage to close out Dorado. That grab from Sasha, never going to be seen.
Really clutch, by the way, from Chengdu to actually get both Langsa and Coldest down in that prior fight just before we got to the end point of Dorado. That's going to allow the Chengdu Hunters to continue pushing on through. The staggered death onto Sashin is brutal as well, because he just doesn't end up respawning. He dies as the OT, or maybe even during the OT, and his respawn is just so long. He's got the important ultimate that if they want to come in and contest, it's got to be via Sashin, but like I said, we're just not going to see the grab because he will not respawn. He wasn't in a position to use it even earlier in the 1v1 versus Gaga, and Gaga steals a health back after taking Sashin down. So Chengdu Hunters will close the book via Dragon Blade from Jinmu. Looking pretty rough to start with, but Chengdu get there in the end. B was really sketchy, man, but glad that Hunters will at least take us to a time bank, and now ball in the court of the Los Angeles Valiant to do the same thing so that we can actually see more Dorado.
Once more, we will go into this now. See how the Valiant fare on their own attack. For now, looks like we're not seeing the Widowmaker hovered, but we'll see if we get there in the end. As okay.
Oh, that was the mine. Oh,
he just rotated into the bank and died.
Wow.
Unlucky.
You know, that's like a COD Claymore, but like slowly killing you over time. And he's just like, really? That's where the sniper's going to put that? All right.
Well, now the doors will open. Dia, okay, he does end up on the Widowmaker. Just wanted to send out that recon bolt for a moment there. Recon arrow, trying to make sure that, see who's going to be playing up close. Gaga for now, leaping straight down here onto the cart. Sashin going to be antied for the moment. Doesn't have a bubble to cleanse it, it would seem, but also isn't under too much fire, so is totally fine. As Leave looks for a pop shot to open things on the defense.
I will say, though, that Valiant I probably favor for A with the Zarya in the low ground here, but once we get onto B, Gaga and the Hunters should be much more comfortable as Zarya really struggles to do anything on high ground. So that is the most contentious part for the LA Valiant. They need to make sure they have a lot of time going to B, because they could very well fail on that attack, and if that will be the failure point. So currently, still just waiting for the push to come on through. Jinmu being pretty annoying, though.
And Becky as well is getting right up into the faces of the Chengdu Hunters here on this high ground, trying to force their position back into the marketplace, and it seems like he will be able to do so. Cart currently sat in the underpass, hasn't been able to advance up the ramp at all yet.
Look at the nanos.
Yeah.
Monk leading by a significant margin once more. It's Monk, I think, has been a standout play on the Chengdu Hunters, even when other players haven't been quite there. Lee will answer back with a kill to Sash, but immediately himself traded.
I mean, look at the double dive here. It's so coordinated from the side of Chengdu. Gaga and Jinmu just getting straight in on top of Dia, making up for the loss of Lee. Now Link's up falling low. Sleep Dart will go out onto the enemy Winston, but the rest of the team is there to capitalize. So far, it's really good time buying from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, slowing up this card. It has not been able to move up close to the point.
Well, the fact that kill Coldest slows down the Nano even further, so Monk will have it by now. Coldest on 65 even, where a couple of minutes in, which by Overwatch 1 standards, we're like actually a minute late. I don't know if you remember Overwatch 1, we used to get nanos in 1 minute. Now it's 2 Achilles, so things have changed between the two games. But still, even though that shifts, Hunters in a position where they've slowed the timer down enough that they are not only just ultimate advantage on Nano, but everything else. They got all the other ultimates starting to come online.
All right, here's the Nano Blade. Diving into the back, Langza already falling low. Cold is going to be the first one to fall, but Jinmu in the end will get both supports. Sleep Dart connecting there onto Sashin as he tries to stay alive, tries to retreat, but it will not be allowed. The Chengdu Hunters are absolutely hungry for this full hold, and right now it looks like they may just be able to get it. Ults are coming up from the side of the Valiant, but there's still a primal to rally on the way for Hunters.
I gotta say, even if it's not a full hold, how are you gonna get B done with minimal time now? Let's say you get this A cap by the OT and you get 230 to go through B. I've already noted that this Zarya composition is not built to take B. It's not as effective as the Winston, so that's gonna be the weak part of the map. Sash and Zarya doesn't get good again until we get to C, so it's imperative that Valiant get past A immediately.
Okay, and Lee finds yet another kill. Sashin going to be taking yet another nap with the hibernation there by Monk. They will manage to capitalize and get the kill. Length pops the rally, but it's far too late. They can't stay alive. It instantly gets taken down, and this is devastating for the Valiant.
Okay, they get a kill though. This is a potential 5v4 when Linksa comes up. But will they get forced to pop ultimates early? They do not want to be in a situation where they have to use ults just to get payload. Hunters backing out is going to give Valiant the opportunity to get payload control. The Hunters are going to get Gaga back in as well for a true 5v5. And this one is going to get dragged into OT.
It is again the conundrum, as you said, though. How do you get to B, even if you can get this one taken care of? Rally now going to be rolling. Nisha staying alive. The ante comes in, and they will manage to find the kill. The duplicate available, and Becky goes ahead, copies the first person that he sees. That's going to be Monk. Now another Ana into the fray here. Helps keep Coldest alive. Is looking for the nano boost. It's just a little bit further away. The sleep dart not connecting, but now has the nano. He's looking for a target. He's going to throw it. Sashin going to be the recipient, and Gaga goes down. Cart still free pushing. They will manage to hit the checkpoint and get that 2.5-minute bump up on the time bank.
Well, they get there in the end. Ends up being a pretty clutch nano by, well, not clutch nano. Well, it could have been a clutch nano, but also a clutch duplicate to keep them in the fight there. Just the extra nano coming into Sashin. Doesn't last very long because Becky loses duplicate form almost immediately, but the kills will be enough. And the initial kill into Gaga relieves pressure from the spawn camp, which allows Valiant to walk on up. But 230 to push through this section. Realistically, at that stage, the one good thing about Sashin is that he does have the grab, so what you can do as Valiant is force full payload control. Hunters must drop on top of you to contest, and then you get a grab play. But you still won't be able to contest high ground properly. Becky will try, but he won't have a lot of HP to work through when there's a lot of people on that high ground looking for him.
Nano Blade ready, being pulled. Jinmu hunting for a target, sees Langza. He's going to try to shield bash away. Put some distance between he and the Genji, but Jinmu still manages to hound him down. Sashin as well, dead. Coldest with a sliver of HP. Same with Becky. It's like the former, the latter rather, will be able to pull away. Keeps himself alive and in the fight, but that is going to be cart control here for Chengdu.
And this is the situation where, because Gaga now has Primal, he can play a lot more aggressively for the payload as well to either A, stall the payload out, which is ideal, or B, eat the solo grab, which Sashin doesn't want to have to do, but may be forced to do. No other good grab targets here. You're not going to catch those supports, so you're pretty much going to end up solo grabbing Gaga. He will Primal and stay alive, then Chengdu will be off to the races and probably get that map. So 1 minute remaining, payload distance. It's okay, but it's not enough. And they lose the member.
Bit of burst damage there, but yeah, the healing flows through. Cold is picked off. Grab now going to be used. Manages to find Lee. Becky beaming him down. Tia, a headshot. Gaga's out of the fight. Yeah, no Primal able to be used. The bubble comes in. They try to keep Becky alive and in the fight, but they cannot do so. So even though they get these picks, it seems like LA Valiant, they might not be able to get this push going because now Sashin's dead. The front line is broken down yet again, and now there's just 30 seconds remaining.
So Sashin gets a +1 on the graph. He's expected to get Gaga. He actually gets Leave as well somehow. I think Leave was maybe on that ground at the same time. Gaga doesn't Primal. It looks pretty awful for the Chengdu Hunters, but Nisha, Jinmu, they clutch it up. Valiant now, final fight territory. Sashin's finally off that Zarya. I mean, this is, to be fair, he's a Zarya player. This is not one of his heroes. Leaves on a 1v1 versus Becky.
He's trying to line it up. He's trying to do his best Taimu impersonation, but he can't make it happen. Sticky Bomb's going forward. They take Gaga low. That's going to force the Primal. The rally rolling still from Nisha, offering up as much healing as he possibly can, but Monk still will fall. Duplicate nearly has online. They focus fire him, but they cannot break it. Now the Primal is out, and he's sending the Chengdu Hunters scattered across the map. Smacks here onto Jinmu, taking him down low, but he still manages to grab the health pack, stays alive, offers some damage back over towards Becky, who's down to 35 HP and has to go floating away. Legs in the meantime going to be eliminated. Sashin bringing the cart forward. He's just going to be swapping to the Lucio to join back into the fight a little bit faster. Ziggs as well, going to be matching. The Nano going to be used. Becky going forward is looking for the elimination here. On to leave. He will have it, but now he's going to be antied out still. Takes two with him. The Blade, it's all on this for the side of the Chengdu Hunters if they want to hold it here, and it seems like it is worth the treat. Jinmu gets his targets identified, cuts them to bits. And Langza cannot contest the cart in time. Chengdu Hunters will win on Dorado, and that will tie us up 1-1.
Absolutely. I mean, Hunters playing towards their win conditions there. Monk consistently either outpacing or at least staying on par. I think Monk was even ahead of Coldest in Nanos, but even though towards the end there, gets one up as the next one comes online just in time to deliver it to Jinmu for the Nano Blade. The LA Valley were always going to struggle on B, but they needed a cleaner A. I think it would have been still possible to run the Zarya on B if your time from A is good and you can pressure with a grab for maximum distance on a snowball. If you can do that, things are looking okay, but Hunters blew the timer down to 0. They even spawn camped the LA Valiant on A at a certain time as well, so wasn't pretty, unfortunately, but we have seen Valiant drop this second map plenty of times. The storyline has been, the trend has been, Valiant win maps 1 and 3, and they lose maps 2, 4, and 5.
Well, we'll see if time is a flat circle and they are just destined to repeat this over and over again if they are stuck in this purgatory where those are the only maps that they can win. We're going to be turning our sights over to Midtown next. We'll see if it's there that the Valiant can set themselves up for success, if they can get that win, and then if they can close it out. So don't go anywhere, guys. The game is going to continue in just a few. And welcome back, guys. We're tied up 1-1. Chengdu Hunters able to successfully defend and push on Dorado. So now we turn our sights over to Midtown, see who is going to be moving up to Series Point. Everything to play for here for both of these teams. Valiant wanting to get their first win. Chengdu hoping and vying for a spot in the kickoff clash.
And that opportunity is still alive. The dream for, I would say, both teams, technically, you know, with the series not decided, but because Hunters have not lost 2 maps yet, their dream is alive. They must now finish the series 3-1 scoreline, and then Hangzhou need to 3-0 fusion as well. Daisy coming in for Gaga. We are expecting a lot of Zarya play on Midtown. Now, we have actually seen Gaga also pick up the Zarya in the past, but it seems like we're back into the situation where it is firmly in the hands of Daisy. That's the player they want to lean on for the Zarya gameplay. You also see innovation coming in, I believe, for Becky as well. What that signifies is that we will be playing some Mei. It's either Mei or Tracer, or hopefully not, but Sombra is also in innovation here. Those are his 3 core heroes, with the Mei probably being top priority currently for this team, because we're not playing Tracer with Zarya. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but Mei with Zarya does make a lot of sense. And this strategy, by the way, that they're about to employ did work against Dragons. They beat the Dragons on Midtown by employing innovation, Zarya, Brawl, shenanigans inside that tunnel. Keep an eye on that underpass. It's like the car wash strategy on Gibraltar, if you know what I'm talking about, where you hide in Mei in the side room and it's hard to push into them, but they can stall the payload forever. That's the strategy that Valiant used to beat Dragons on this map.
I mean, hey, you said Gibraltar. I think of also Route 66. Use it right in that initial cave on the low ground. You can also go ahead and
that works.
Delay forever there. The old Arisa bunker setup with it as well. Just be an absolute terror, an absolute pain in the rear, but okay, I was going to say, I mentioned Arisa for a moment. Have I spoken this into existence? But no, Sashin will go back over to the Zarya.
Bro, if you want to play Arisa, you lose. And here's the other thing. There's another reason why you're not going to play Arisa in this matchup, is because Arisa truly does suck into Zarya. It is, I think, even hard countered by Zarya. So, no, you would normally never play Arisa anyway, but you would especially never play Arisa into a Zarya, because you know Daisy is in. And Daisy, no, is not going to be playing Doomfist. So, LA Valiant, they defend first, which means, assuming Chengdu actually do cap A, we will be seeing that sort of, what would you even call the strat? The underpass, like, stall strat with the Mei? We will be seeing that on B.
I mean, I guess without the Arisa, it's just like the poor man's bunker, you know? Is basically what it is. But
it's not even really a bunker, though. It's more like a brawl here, because you're not really... You are bunkering, but you're kind of just like a stall brawl. It's the stall brawl, I don't know.
The frost trap, I guess. We'll call it
frost trap. I like it. Okay.
Innovation throwing up the wall, not going to be able to cut anybody off. Just going to leave a couple of these right clicks in. Get on top of Leave here. Jinmu pushing up onto the high ground. Innovation safe for now. Now has the ice block off cooldown as well, in case he gets into a dire situation.
Chengdu taking fire station control. Still just poking for now. They want to set Leave up on some high ground, then push in again. Nano should be the first ultimates coming up. This time both of the Ana players are neck and neck, so both Nano should be coming up at the same time to be used.
Jinmu popping the deflect, not finding too much to bounce back. Ice wall does go up. Him off, segregating him from the rest of the team, but he's continuing to play around the back end of the fire truck here, so does not get caught, does not take too much damage, and now that's an opening kill as Dia will be the first to fall. Leaf finding that elimination. Sashin as well in a dangerous situation. Loses out on both of his bubbles, gets focus fired. Now the Chengdu Hunters should be able to make their way over onto the point and get this cap going through.
And the real unfortunate timing here is Sashin dies just as Coldus gets the Nano, so there was no chance to save Sashin. I believe if Sashin dies slightly slower, Coldus gets the Nano slightly faster. You Nano Sashin, there's still a player that you can play the 4v5 potentially, and then Hunters end up using a bunch of ultimates. Even if Valiant lose, they force ultimates out of Hunters, which is important, whereas now, Hunters technically cap for free because they did not spend for that cap. So this is really good for the economy of Hunters moving forward.
That it is. Cart starting to make its way out here onto the streets. Dart not going to connect there from Monk. Let's see when the Valiant decide it's the time to strike.
Should be a visor.
Yeah.
Or a
Ivy
blade.
for getting ready to come through as far as the ult is concerned, but okay, grab goes in, they catch leave, the sound barrier shielding is there, but there's so much focus fire that he does end up falling. The same can be said, however, for Dia. Chengdu with the blade, takes out Innovation as well. Good trade up here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters as they look to break through this position. If they can win this team fight, they might be able to get this cart all the way through the underpass and not have to worry about that brawl, about that frost trap. With the fight victory, they can start charging forward.
Yeah, it turns out Chengdu Hunters are playing the rogue class and they actually disarmed it. I don't play WoW, so you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but my point moving forward is the fact that Hunters had so much... Oh, well, I've done it. And again, I don't play WoW. Chengdu Hunters, they had the economy to push on through, because usually what would happen is Ali trap you in a low economy game, they force you to use ultimates on A, and then maybe they win that fight based on low economy, play the neutral, Mei is pretty good in the neutral right, and then they can trap you in the underpass. Now, things are getting bad, but there is an opportunity. If Ali Valiant win this fight, and they win enough fights that the payload moves back under the underpass, then we're back in the frost trap zone again. And it is sliding.
Yep. Starting to slide. It'd be funny if it actually had, physics. So, like, when it's on a slope like that, it slides back a little bit faster.
Yeah, but there's no wheel, so technically we're not, there's no actual friction between the thing and the ground, so...
That's a fair point. We don't really know how it works exactly. Just all these hover vehicles. I don't even know what year Overwatch takes place in, now that I think about it.
Why aren't all the players
questions that I have.
How come only Zen in the vehicles hover? Anyway.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out another time, I suppose. Dia, and he jumped on Leave on the flank, looking to take him down. He's fully occupying this entire visor. Eventually the kill will come in, and maybe Nisha has overstepped. He has. And so will help find that assist kill. Because now the rest of the Chengdu Hunters have to escape. A little bit of chip damage going out on the Jinmu, but it seems like he will be able to keep his life intact.
And we're in another situation where we've seen the Mei versus kind of Blade situation before. This could actually be a Nano Visor. I think if you're Monk and Hunters, you actually forego the Nano Blade in favor of the Nano Visor because you do not want Jinmu caught with the Nano Blade inside of the Blizzard. You would like to have your damage come from long range instead. That being said, how do you aggress this high ground? Usually a Blade would be the best to aggress the high ground. Oh my goodness, Innovation slept.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, slept but able to be woken up. Yeah, he's got that, so keeps himself alive. Sasha now dangerously low. He is antied out. Grab comes through. They'll lob it onto Jinmu, and yeah, Deflect is not going to help you against Zarya. Sasha pushes forward, finds an elimination. Tag Visor now out from Lee, falls low. They manage to keep him alive for a little bit longer, but they get him surrounded. They manage to take him down. The sleep from Innovation, just onto Innovation rather, just a little bit too late. The cleanup is there. Now it's a minute and a half remaining as the Valiant hold on to this Blizzard.
And you can see that's why you don't want to invest into the Nano Blade, right? Because it's not just the Blizzard. The Grav also prevents your Nano Blade from doing anything. So the Nano Visor is a lot safer in an environment where the Blade has so many capabilities from the other team to shut down the Blade. So not ideal for the Hunters in that line of play. Now, Blizzard's still up now, but there is also Grav plus Sound Barrier. So if Blizzard does come down offensively, the barrier should allow you to get out.
Jinmu dashing straight up into the air, looking for that final tag to go ahead and finish him off. They can't get it. Grab comes in. Sasha going to be focus fire. The Blizzard zoning the rest of the team back, but it doesn't help keep the tank alive. Valiant now pulling away, looking to reset and recontest as the cart starts inching forward yet again. Dia of the Chengdu Hunters. We're running out of time. Dia taken down. Cold is going to be taking a nap. The push forward. Jinmu is good for the kill. Cuts through Innovation as well. Forces him into the ice block, and there's no one to occupy the cart. Langza will now die. Has to reset. It's 2 minutes and 4 seconds in the time bank now for the side of the Hunters to finish them out.
You can see that Dia was the only remaining win condition there for the LA Valiant, and with him taken down by Jinmu, it just all falls apart quite quickly. Another brilliant play by Monk to take down his counterpart. Easier alley-oop play to just collect coldness on the floor. So the strongest part of Valiant's team composition is now left on the lake. So we're now also looking towards a part of the map where you can start maybe looking at Echo. If Jinmu decides to, use the Blade and go into Echo, is really strong for this last part, a lot of high ground, low ground play. This is where I think the Mei starts to get decreased value, although there are still chokes to play through. Again, when you lack the high ground control, the Mei starts to feel a bit poor.
Dia falling low, keeps himself topped up. Nano out on the Jinmu. Blade nearly online, now has it. Does he pull it? The answer for now is going to be no, as he does get taken down rather low, and they lose out on Dicey in the front line. Sasha eventually will get in on top of the Genji, finds that kill. He himself is in danger at the moment, but it seems like they've got Leave zoned and killed, so we'll be able to stay alive, pushes forward for a little bit more, trying to get as many staggers as they possibly can. Monk somehow staying alive. Bubbles coming through from Dicey, help keep him in the fight, and now the Valiant have to pull back.
Sashin on 100 energy, though. I think Daisy might have been reset there. I can't remember if he died or not, but Jinmu didn't pull the blade. He did. Well, there you go. 0 energy for Daisy. That will be heavily in the favor of Sashin moving to the next fight. Jinmu still has blade. Couldn't pull it because, well, he got visored, and now...
Instantly comes through. Now, again, it's the grab to greet him, locks him in place, and the cleanup is there. The Valiant instantly find 3 kills. Langza taking a little nap on the corner. That's fine. Nisha keeps the card contested for just a moment, but needs to try to escape. Looks like he's just elusive enough.
Staggered,
no, he's
staggered.
not. Staggered at the very end with just 15 seconds left to go. Massive pick off there for the Valiant.
Jinmu, mate. Jinmu's even gone main. Now he's going to Tracer. So here's a really important thing. Innovation, 1 Blizzard on the payload should prevent the touch or prevent anyone from getting value on the touch, and that could get you the win. Visor from Lee straight away. They're looking for early kills. Sashin's in trouble.
Okay, well, they make their way over to the cart, but now the Blizzard's going to be greeting them. Nisha going to be taken down. Leave with attack fires. They're finding Lings and trading out the Lucios. Now it's going to be some Pointless, though, from the side of the LA Valiant. It might not matter.
Just Jinmu.
It's just Jinmu left alive, and yeah, he gets that kill, but he can't make it back to the cart. The hold will be completed here from the Valiant. Still a good amount of distance given up, though. We'll see how the Chengdu Hunters fare on the defense.
Respectable by Valiant to prevent any major movement from the Hunters on C, but again, their major win condition was to prevent a cap onto B, and they never got to actually play what this composition was designed for, and that is to trap the payload in the underpass. Never happened. Poor economy management and missed timings on A sadly cost them both A, but then also gave Hunters a brilliant snowball on B. And, you know, in a massive alt economy fight, it does also come down to who uses what when and who's getting what kind of value out of the particular ultimates they were using. So Valiant, sadly, I think they got no one with that Blizzard either on that B defense. So that one massive ultimate fight on B, to me, probably was the one fight that dictates the rest of the entire map. However, now that we swap sides, can Valiant do something with this to get the pushes across the line and get that cap onto C? The Mei, I think, no longer has like insane value as it would on the defense. You'll have to kind of play this one like a regular brawl composition. Use your ice walls to trap Daisy and isolate them out so that Valiant can maybe get a kill on members like that. You're probably not going to get anyone else, right? Leaf's too far away. Jinmu can dash out. Supports are going to be way on the back line. So the only person you can wall and isolate is going to be Daisy.
Gates opening up. Dia just going to be sending out the recon arrow. See what they can spot. Swap back over now to the Reaper as they start making their way forward towards the point.
I like the Reaper here.
Hunters playing back, just pulling back through the train cars. Jinmu going to poke up over the top.
Well, you do need to be very front-loaded in this kind of environment because if you're going to be running at the other person in terms of using a Mei wall, you have to have the Reaper and Dia's going deep.
Oh, and they are. Trying to get in on top of them, and Dicey instantly surrounded the Valiant, feast upon the enemies here. Sleeve will also fall. Clean up onto Monk, and yeah, they deny the exit, the wall from Innovation. Perfect to block Nisha in, and that is the cap in record time from the side of the Valiant.
It's brilliant execution, exactly how you want to play this composition. I would even argue that maybe Coldus could go back to the Moira, but you know, I think that Ana is typically better in this meta just as a hero in a vacuum, so we'll forget about the Moira. That was a map 1 strategy. Focusing on this now, just the core of the Lucio, Zarya, and Mei Reaper can be pretty powerful, and they're snowballing through as well. They don't quite have any major ultimates coming online compared to Hunters. That's probably the only downside of Valiant winning the fight so quickly.
Cart now moving through the initial gateway. Jinmu trying to play forward. A little bit of damage there from Sashin tickling him, but the anti goes out onto 2. Jinmu's got to back off. Moves it back over to the high ground with the rest of the squad. The wall comes up just to try to cut off their line of sight for a little bit longer as the cart will start sliding down.
Blizzard.
Does nearly have it. Just 12% left to go from Innovation. TP up onto the top there from DF for just a moment. Not going to find too much. Has to make an exit rather quickly.
So this is a situation now where, okay, first can Leave actually get this kill or not? Dia, no shift maybe? No shift indeed. They're nano anyway, so they're going to commit. This has to be a Blizzard fight now.
Yep, he shifted out, so couldn't use it to try to exit yet again. Pushed down onto the low ground here from Sasha. The grab now online, but he can just hold it. Dicey has been eliminated. Turn their sights over to Jinmu. Managed to save Coldest's life. Picks up the kill there with the Bionade. Now the cart can continue to just cruise through. 4 minutes, 25 seconds still remaining here for the side of the Valiant. Chengdu Hunters, a plethora of ultimates to try to utilize with the grab and that sound barrier not too far away. But can they get them in time?
All can be counted. You have Blizzard, you have Grav, so Innovation actually ends up not using the Blizzard because they just win it with a nano to Sound barrier counters Leave and also Jinmu. There goes things up.
Sound barrier is out. Daisy again, focus fired. Leaf will get cold. This
Was
is
it?
looking for a bit more value. Grab comes in, they lock him in place. Jinmu with the blade zoned out for the moment as the blizzard expires. He's looking for another target, but ends up getting frozen on the back end of it.
Yep.
The cart will be able to cruise into the station. That's point B snatched up, and it's over 5 minutes for the Valiant here. That is absolutely monstrous.
It's just better ultimates from Valiant. I mean, I talked about the economy not being great for them on defense. How about the offense? On the offense, their stocks are rising up. It's through the roof. It's off the charts here. Every single good ultimate that they needed exactly when they needed. Nothing from the unders in their bank was going to be useful because there was a relevant counter on the other side. Daisy finally gets a grab. What value can we get out of this? Jinmu's even gone towards the mate, but he doesn't have the Reaper buddy to help him out, so it's just a worse version of what Valiant are playing.
Dia waiting above so far. Unscouted. Looks like now he will be spotted as he turns the corner. Says hello to Monkey. He's just going to go dropping in on top of them, though. Manages to find two. Into the ice block goes Jinmu just to stay alive. Will manage to do so, but the rest of the team is absolutely torn asunder. Dia comes up massive. The Valiant cruise through. They make it look easy on Midtown as they bring us to a 2-1 scoreline. Match point in their pockets. The onus is on the Chengdu Hunters to try to push back to still close out a victory.
That's a 5-head, 5 AM composition designed by the one and only No Hill. So No Hill designed a composition right there, you know. Expensive, just like the handbags. We'll see if it will be able to get them an eventual series win. What I can say now is, congratulations, Philadelphia Fusion. You have officially clinched the Kickoff Clash. Chengdu can no longer get into Kickoff Clash, but they can still salvage this matchup and get a win for the overall season standings. Valiant, for the 4th time in this stage, are at match point with a 2-1 scoreline. Is it 4th time lucky? Is it going to slip through their fingers again?
We'll have to just wait and see, but I mean, Valiant in the past, they taketh, this time they giveth. So there you go, breathe easy, Fusion. Going to be feeling pretty good about that one, and I'm sure now Fusion fully cheering for the Valiant to go ahead and finish the job. We'll see if they can get it done as we have New Queen Street coming up next. The Valiant, if they can win there, they will have their first series win in so very long, and not since 2020. It has been 23 attempts. This is the 24th attempt right now to try to get that win. We'll see if they can close it out, or if the Chengdu Hunters can make them sweat a little bit more, take them into a Game 5 when we come back for Push. And here we are, yet again, familiar territory, Avril, as the Valiant are on match point. Push is coming up next. We've got New Queen Street to determine whether or not there's a Game 5, or if they can finally breathe the longest, deepest sigh of relief that anyone will ever exhale. We will find out here in just a few minutes as we get ready to go into this game. But I can tell you, taking a look at it, there are no swaps on either side. You're going to be having the same 5 players from Midtown going forward into Push.
Yeah, I mean, it is so hard to trust the Valiant here, though. You so desperately want to trust the Valiant, and every single time they get to the 2-1, you're like, this is it. This is going to be the moment. You've waited nearly 2 years to see Valiant take a single match win again. 631 days. 23 matches in a row is the current loss streak. D is smiling. He's pumped. He finally gets the opportunity to win as a starting player in the Overwatch League after having departed from the Shanghai Dragons in 2019. He's a veteran player, but he hasn't had the best run in OWL, and this is meant to be the comeback year. But can they actually do it? The final game for them in the first stage. Look, even if they don't do it here, there's more stages, but you'd love to do it here. It's a full round robin, and for Valiant to go home with no wins would be so sad for them when they, I think, clearly look better than 7th place in APAC. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I absolutely do agree. The Valiant of last season was the worst team in Overwatch League history that we have ever seen. They were worse than the 0-42 Shanghai Dragons, 0-40 Shanghai Dragons, because obviously those other 2 losses were with the updated roster in 2019. They were worse. Now they actually can contest. They look a hell of a lot better. This is a legitimate lineup that they have going on right now. It's just about when can they get the victory. Who is it against? Right now, it looks like it absolutely could be against Chengdu Hunters as Jinmu's back in the sky.
Well, here's the thing, is that's a reasonable read from Jinmu, considering they expect the Innovation May. What can you play against that? They probably also expect the Dia Reaper. They don't know that Dia is actually on the Soldier here. You would actually expect the Reaper because the May Reaper combo with the Zarya works. So now that Dia is on the field of Soldier, that's going to put a little bit more pressure onto Jinmu, but he's still pocketed anyway. So as long as he plays range well enough, he should be okay. This is meant to be a positive matchup into the May, which means Hunters have a soft counter comp.
Innovation already getting focused. Leave. It's on top of him. Not quite sure exactly where he was, but ends up falling. Coldest as well, zoned back as he gets antied. And bot for now, going to be taken by the Chengdu Hunters. Contest comes in pretty quickly though, so not getting too much distance. Just that 6 meters or so that they have right now. But Langsa, caught. Got stuck on the wall there, it would seem, for just a moment. Smacked up against the window. And ends up going down.
What do we have here? Just a little bit of push coming through, nothing to write home about just yet. It's not even at the 20% mark. Not a lot of ultimates to speak of. Both Leave and Jinmu about to crest the 70% mark, and Coldest will actually be the first there, considering LA Valley have been losing and taking more damage. Jinmu in trouble, but he'll back out.
Yep. Does manage to make his exit. Red's obviously also very much available if it's not the worst spot to try to go for it. Rockets coming down over the top, softening up Sasha there. But cannot get that elimination, but like you say, builds up the ult very quickly here, very steadily dive into the back line. He's looking for the target, but the Bubbles comes in and Diaz got the return fire. Manages to find that elimination, doubles down, gets another one, jumps in on top of Leave. Man, the Helix Rocket melee combo. The eliminations come through. Monk, the last one to fall with the extended team kill. That'll be the Valiant now in control of the cart, pushing forward, taking the lead.
That was some real Dia Chaj gameplay. I mean, he stares a barrage in the face and just defeats Jinmu. And Jinmu had a bubble for what it's worth. Dicey absolutely put one in there. Dia powers through regardless. It's huge now for the Valiant as they will double the distance. To be fair, pretty minimal distance from Chengdu, but Ultimate's coming online big time for both teams. This is going to be a very bloody fight.
That it is. Tac Visor's there. Jinmu stranded. Can't get out the safety. Leaf, however, with a return visor of his own, will find Coldest. The DPS for a support, and Leaf continues to send them back, running away, heading for the hills. Looks for another target. Looks like he'll find Innovation. Goes low. Helix Rocket's a little bit too early. Try to get the punish there onto the main. Wall comes up to block line of sight, and that does allow him to escape with his life intact for now.
And the interesting thing about having Nisha on this Mercy is obviously you are going to pocket Jinmu, but when Leave goes to the visors, could be a nano visor, you can add more damage with the blue beam on top of it. So there's going to be a trade here. D in the backlines has finally been dealt with. The traded from Innovation. There is no res as the Blizzard comes on through.
Bot
I
pushing
lied,
again.
there
Looks
is
like
a
we
res.
had- yeah, grab right there from Sashin. Catches Daisy. They manage to get that elimination. Sashin follows up for another, this time finding Monk. Innovation. And dodging around from these rockets, trying to stay elusive as much as possible. Now trying to find Nisha. Take him out of the sky. He's got a sliver left. One bullet from Dia would have done the job, but hasn't managed to find that connection yet. Dia will instead get Jinmu, and Sashin's there for the other component in the pharmacy duo. Now the bot again going to start pushing, stretching the lead for the Valiant.
Could be a cap. Yeah, should be the checkpoint coming through now here. Another fun fact for you Achilleos in the audience. Valiant so far this season have never won New Queen Street. Every single time they play New Queen Street has resulted in a loss. Can this be their first? 57-18, that's checkpoint confirmed. Here comes Jimmy for the barrage.
Yeah, looking to block his entry. He's setting up for it, but he gets taken down out of the sky. Fly Swatter connects an innovation. It's sort of the Mosquito. Coldest, however, melted. Leave. It's on top of him, manages to find some nice damage. But now Nisha does end up falling as well. So a support for a support. Jinmu still trying to rejoin with the rest of the team, trying to set up for that barrage and stop the push, which has continued. Now 67.6 meters here for the side of the Valiant, but with Innovation and Sashin going down, that opens up a good amount of space here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters to get the spot moving up.
And importantly as well, the ultimate's coming online for the Hunters. Nisha's gone towards Lucio, so no more pocketing. It's likely that either Nisha has to die here and respawn as the Mercy, or Jinmu's actually going to get off the Pharah after the next barrage. But not hoping for a lot to happen from the next barrage, because, again, well, you don't have the Mercy pocketing you this time, and we've seen what happened the last time the barrage came on through. Hunters still lead in ultimates, though, and they need to get these ultimates high value to push up to their own checkpoint and cap.
Team jumped on there for just a moment. The rocket barrage comes in. Sashin, however, will fall, and Innovation goes down off the back of that as well. Jinmu now right in on top of the supports. The sleep dart from Coldest will be nice to stop the onslaught for a little bit longer, but Dicey still gets the elimination. Moving up the checkpoint. Ready to be met here in just a little bit for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. The distance really growing, and the delta between the two teams very much is shrinking.
I mean, Lever's a very long way away. You can see on the minimap here, or rather just on the map, he's super far off. Valiant now have Blizzard incoming, is also going to be the grab. They can roll this very effectively. Dia even.
Oh, he uses his visor. He ends up dying to Leave. Leave just pops it. He's still quite far away, though. He can't find another target. The bot, in the meantime, shifts back away from that checkpoint. Valiant, a little bit of a second lease on life. Sashin falling low. The grab going to be lobbed in. Gets the catch onto Daisy. He's isolated away from the rest of the squad. They can't get on top of him to try to heal him back up. They get that elimination. Bot again, now just going to be sat still. Shifting forward here for the Valiant's side. Their efforts coming to fruition, but ult right there. It's going to be the grab for Daisy. Valiant still a very long way away from another ult.
Well, that's the problem, right? Because Innovation added the extra Blizzard when the grab initially from Sashin was probably enough. They already got an advantage from that, and they decide to pop in extras, which won't really give them enough fuel to make it further. So it's likely that, you know, Hunters will be able to grab this one back, and we're getting to the 2-minute mark as Valiant's lead is, what, 12-ish meters. It's going to allow Hunters to push up very quickly on the spot, but still, if the OT hits and Hunters don't have control, things will get difficult.
Well, they're looking for the pinch here, and Jinmu goes so very low. That bubble coming up from Daisy, helping to keep him alive. Grab now going to go in, manages to catch two. Leave finds Sashin. Dia now on the ground trying to escape. Low HP, but grabs that Mega Pack. Manages to stay alive. In the meantime, Coldest came up with 2 kills for himself. Monk and Nisha both taken out of the fight. The bot now shifting back in favor of the Valiant, and this could be it. There's a minute and 18 seconds left, and they're gaining more distance over the Hunters.
No tank, though. They have to wait for Sashin. Unfortunately, when Chengdu come back in, they come back as 5. LA only have 4. Huge plays by Dia. He was caught in the grab, still survives, still finds kills, and instantly you'll see the bot back in the hands of the Chengdu Hunters. So this is part of the gameplay push as well, where if you win these fights but you don't have members alive, you're going to have to give up control. And that's even if one person dies.
Bot is contested. Innovation trying to play around the back. Blizzard 30% away. Tac visor from Dia 21. Leaf will have his a little bit sooner, it would seem, and they do have the nano boost to go with it, but it needs to be absolutely massive. A good opening kill now as Innovation will fall. Monk is hugging back behind the bus, keeps himself alive, but they lose out on Nisha in the meantime. Monk's attention being occupied means that he cannot help keep his co-support alive. In the meantime, Dicey's going to fall. Dia finds that elimination. He's got his pocket heals right there. Jinmu will get Sashin's with the trade out on the Zaryas. Sleep pops the visor, looks for another target, but doesn't manage to find too much of anything. The Valiant have scattered to the winds, but now he gets himself in behind Coldest. The Helix rocket assassination plays out quite nicely here for him, as now Langza in a bit of a rough spot, falling lower and lower, but he makes it a 1-for-1. Bot going to be contested. They're still not quite yet to the checkpoint. Sashin Jury joining in here, offers up some bubbles of innovation. There's the checkpoint achieved, but now the bot has to take a break as we enter into OT.
Look at Blizzard, there's ultimates coming online, there should be Valiants. If there is a dream, then you better start dreaming. This is the ultimates coming online for Valiant. They have 4 hunters, they have nothing. If there's a place to win, Valiant can do it now.
The bubbles are massive. Dia, however, still going to fall. Monk snipes out that kill. The ults are here, however, for the Valiant. The bot now pushing through. Wall goes up, not going to block too much of anything. Bubble on the Nisha, try to keep him alive.
Here it comes.
The barrier used. He doesn't have it now. That's going to be the Blizzard thrown down. The freeze is there as innovation right clicks heads. And they've actually managed to make it happen. The LA Valiant, after so many attempts, will manage to get their first match victory. It has been so many years in the making, over 600 days. They finally can breathe easy. Dia as well in particular, netting himself that first victory here in the league. Utterly incredible from him here on the last map. Valiant fans around the world can collectively sigh in relief. The win is theirs.
It's been so long, Achilles. I feel like I've been aged. I feel like this entire organization, everyone following them, you've been aged. It's been bittersweet. All of the past couple of years, the losses, so many losses. Waiting for this moment, but it is unequivocally now so sweet to finally get that first win on the board. 5 matches this season we've waited. 3 of which went to a map 5 after a 2-1 lead. 4th time lucky, 4th time for the LA Valiant. Luck is probably not even a factor at this stage. They were simply the better team today. The May strategies worked. No Hill's 5 AM compositions worked. Dia gets a win as a starter. It all comes around. And oh my goodness, Achilles, I think our own personal journey with the LA Valiant from all of last year, looking at how this org was, how they played, all the unfortunate things that happened in terms of what led up to this space, and now to finally get this win, it feels like it starts to become worth it. Chengdu gave Valiant their very first map win last year, and now Chengdu this year will give the Valiant their very first match win.
Well, there you have it. I mean, you can still see a smile there from the side of Jinmu's face, so it doesn't seem like he and the rest of the team are too perturbed. I think they were aware that by this point they'd already been eliminated from contention in the kickoff clash. But, I mean, this is just vindication for the Valiant fans who've been waiting so long, who had to suffer through last year. For you and I, who had to cast the lion's share of those matches last season.
Yep, we did.
For them to get this win. And my heart has to go out to Dia here. I can't even imagine how great this feels right now in this moment. Being a part of, a roster that wasn't able to get any wins, coming in, kind of inheriting now a lost streak on the Valiant. He manages to make it happen. And he will be our player of the match for very good reason. This isn't just about storyline. The man performed.
Absolutely on a plethora of picks as well. Well, to be fair, just the ones that he's known for, the hit scans. We saw the Widowmaker, his signature soldier, obviously the Reaper working out brilliantly, and I think it's just staying the course. Valiant knew, No Hill knew, the head coach, they knew they had something working because they'd reached the precipice of getting a win so many times. It's just about staying the course and understanding, okay, we flubbed it, we mis-executed, but the strategy is sound. Dia is sound. Dia is a phenomenal player. He might have been completely missing for the last year. He didn't want to join the LA Valiant last year. He was offered a position, didn't join the LA Valiant last year because he wanted to wait for the right opportunity. He didn't want to be part of that 0-16 run through the 2021 season. No Hill got him onto this team and promised them they would turn the franchise around, and dare I say, today is the day it starts turning around.
Yep, I mean, great numbers coming in here from the side of Dia, just sticking through the whole way, keeping his head held high. I mean, you have to expect, we're talking about the storylines here, how it's often that the Valiant can't get their wins on maps 2, 4, and 5. I think that the players are quite well aware of that, as we are. So that pressure has to be building in the back of your brain when you're playing that series, and to be able to stay focused, not think about the curses that could exist, the other outside forces that might lead you to end up throwing a map and not being able to close out a series in a Game 5 yet again. It's good to see that everybody was level-headed the whole way through, played it, with their hearts on their sleeves, and were finally able to get the win. Just nothing but congratulations here to the side of the Valiant. They've finally done it.
It's officially now been 0 days since the LA Valiant's last match when we reset the counter, ladies and gentlemen. 631 down to 0, 23 match loss streak down to 0. We are now on officially a 1-match win streak.
There you go. 1-match win streak indeed for the side of the Valiant. We've got plenty more to talk about, though, with this series before we throw the show over to the other casters and to the final series. So myself and Avril will return. I'm sure we're just going to gush a little bit more about how good this moment is for the Valiant and maybe a little bit about the future for this team when we come back from the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will continue in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.